terrifying, like watching, say, Emmerdale or Coronation Street. That's horrific. Horrific. When you come up and watch a show like this about real people, their real stories, their real engaging things, and what's going on in their life, and surely there should be nothing better. Surely. Anyway, right, guys, we're going to go and give you a little bit of music, intro music, and then I think I better start giving a bit of a build up to a very special guest tonight. Hello, right, okay, so, okay, any of you into fashion out there? Know anything about fashion? Say, for instance, I said a special guest that's coming on tonight has provided, how can I say it? I'm going to get this wrong. I'm going to get such a telling off afterwards because she's going to say, you shouldn't say it like that. But outfits, can I say designer gear? Can I say designer gear? Is this the right way to put it? I haven't got a clue. But for instance here, if I was to pull in this very nice lady here and say that my guest did something very special here. That's it. This is Andrew McLean. And see that handbag there? Whoops, just pull that across there. See that handbag there? The handbag there was actually designed by my guest coming on tonight, Jody Pearson. Jody Pearson's going to be joining us very live in just a moment. And we're going to have a very interactive chat. Indeed, I'm sure you'll all see that. Anyway, so lovely to see so many of you other people online here. And also very nice to see as well a guest who will be joining us on the show in the next few weeks. Maria says, hello, beautiful people. She'll be coming on the show very soon. Susanna says, hi, guys. And Eleni says, hi, Phil and Deborah. So, okay, that's lovely. Now, tonight, guys, we want to know where you're from, where you're coming in from. We know some of you already there coming from the UK and some from Spain. And we'd just like to give you a little evening hoot. That's it, just to let you guys know you're all here. Okay, and Denise, welcome onto the show, and hope you're well out there, and have a lovely evening. Right, okay, let's get going. So, when you go to the shops, guys, when you buy some nice gear, you feel good, don't you? You feel really good. Well, this lady who I'm about to introduce to you now, absolutely beautiful lady, beautiful in looks and beautiful. She's going to say, will you shut up and just get on with it? Anyway, but she's beautiful in looks and beautiful in nature. Absolutely lovely lady. And she'll be joining us very soon. This is Jenny Payne from Ireland. Good evening. And also Emily from the UK. Okay, right. I think I better go and find the doorbell there and see if my guest is ready to come on. I'm just going to, okay, just... yes, I think she's ready there. Hello, Jody. Are you ready?
Hello.
Lovely to see you this evening. Lovely to see you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you, Phil?
Oh, very, very well. You look absolutely gorgeous. You look glamorous. Absolutely glamorous. You look fabulous.
I've had a very busy day, actually. So the time just whizzed by, and I thought, oh, quick! I better get ready.
Quick! Let's go.
Oh
dear. Yes, I know it's like these busy days. Yes. Okay, so just to tell people a little bit about you, what's going on here, Jody. What's when people talk about fashion design here, people normally think, okay, this is really nice, but you've actually been at the top end. Is this right? Top end of fashion for women and their is it just clothes or is there something else?
Yeah, I mean, I am a fashion designer, and I found myself very luckily fortunate, whatever you want to call it, doing catwalks in New York, basically all over the world, created lots of amazing collections, which proved to be very popular, and dressed and worked with lots of very famous celebrities. So, yeah, I mean, I created collections. We call it the ready-to-wear collection.
Okay.
So in your terms, that means it's just clothes ready to wear, daytime wear, nice and sort of casual, easy to wear. And then I did couture range, which obviously for red carpet events, and I've done many bridal dresses as well. So, and then besides of the clothing, I did handbags, shoes, and accessories, belts and hats as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, I really did. The thing with me is once I do something, I wanted to create the whole look. So I'm a
Okay.
bit matchy
Yeah.
with I don't know if you get that, but I like everything to match. So it was like, okay, I've created the dress, but now I need the shoes to match and then the handbag to match. And then, it all gets a bit,
Yes, yes.
you know,
Actually, I know what you mean. Actually, because my wife, who's the producer of the show here, she's got all the handbags, and I've got all the shoes, and I
oh,
love
really?
designer shoes, and I've got some brilliant Italian shoes which I wear with certain outfits for certain occasions, so it all matches. I know exactly what you mean when it comes to matching, and I love colours.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, that's
absolutely.
lovely to hear as well. I mean, Franco, as you know, my lovely hubby, his wardrobe is quite tiny, and he tells everybody that because I just take over, with all the wardrobe space, and
Poor,
he's got
poor
like
Franco.
only a few pairs of shoes. Thank goodness he's not a fashion icon because I think we'd be falling out like every single day.
Maybe, maybe. That sounds hilarious. Okay, so when you started out doing this, is this something that you wanted to go and do when you were very young?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been very fashion orientated, and there's a little story that my mum always reminds me of. Actually, when we were young, I was very lucky. Actually, I had a very privileged upbringing with my parents, and back in the day, you used to get the family allowance. Well, my mum didn't need to use it for food and things like that, and I'm very grateful for having a lovely upbringing. So she used to save it up for me and my sister, and once a year we would go shopping. So we would go on a big, huge spree with our family allowance money. And my sister would go into, back then, I think it was ETAM or something like that. And she would come back with about 20 bags of clothes and, just loads of stuff. And I would say, no, Mum, I just want to go into Selfridges and I just want to buy one thing. And I'm talking, I was like 12 years old. And
Oh, I did that. I did that. I knew exactly what I wanted.
yeah. And I always did. And she, to this day, she always reminds me, she said, Jody, you was always like that. So I literally, and I remember all the things I bought. One time I went in and I just bought this amazing leather flying jacket. It was so cool. But I just bought this one item. My sister was like, you mental? Look what I've got. And I was like, I don't care. I just want this. This is all I want. This one thing, this one key piece that I'm going to keep forever.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've always been a bit of a fashionista, if you want to call me that. And then yeah, I've gone through different styles like everybody else. Very creative. My mum's very creative, but not more in fashion, more sort of in upholstery and home design. And then and I've always been complimented along the way. Oh, you look so good. Where did you get that? Oh, I would never put that together. Things like that. And then I decided to get really creative and create my own brand, which took me then to places that I never dreamed that I could ever go to,
Yeah.
and work with people that I never dreamed that I could. So it was a fantastic experience. And
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Okay, so when if I was to, let's have a look here. Let's have a look here, and this is some of you people may know who this lady is. And okay, do you guys out there recognise who this lady is? There, she's just come through there. Now, can you explain what's going on here? What's she wearing, and what's it? Was there an occasion for this? Can you see that on the screen there?
yes, so that is Tamsin Outhwaite. You probably know her as a very famous actress.
Yep,
She
absolutely.
is, yeah, she's very, very famous. And I was lucky enough to meet her in a very famous London hotel, along with some other celebrities. And I had basically a rail of all of my couture clothes in this hotel and handbags. And I invited the celebrities to come along and have a look. And if there was anything that they, really liked, then obviously then I would love them to wear it in a premiere, and obviously showcase, my work. And you never know with these things. I think fashion industry is one of the hardest industries you could ever crack it in, because
Yes.
there's so much competition. There really is. And I created this piece, and Tamsin tried it on, and it was the most amazing feeling. It was probably one of the most poignant compliments I'd ever had from being a fashion designer, and that was that it was the most perfect dress that she'd ever tried on. And she decided to wear it to the premiere, the red carpet event, for one of her latest roles. And she did, and it was in all of the newspapers and magazines. And she was just blown away by how beautiful and how feminine and stunning she felt in it. So yeah, it's a huge compliment, really.
Wow. Well, it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad that she was able to give you that compliment there. That's amazing. So, is this something that when you first started out and you wanted to be a fashion designer like this, is this something that you just thought, right, I'm going to college, university, and things like that, or was it just your creative imagination that just took you?
Yeah, I think it's my creative imagination, really, Phil, to be honest. It's something that I've always just very easily got. I've just got an eye for everything beautiful.
Okay.
And I find it extremely, incredibly easy to just create looks, to create that feel, to know what works, to know what colours go together. And it's so natural. It just really is natural for me.
It's amazing. I love talking. Actually, for a bloke, actually, I don't mind talking about clothes and shoes and things like this. But it's interesting, actually. My wife says to me, she said, that's all your wardrobe, just going across there, and this is my little bit just here. And I said, well, I've got to be on performances on stages. I've got to wear different things. She says, yeah, that's right. Of course, you just have that whole lot there. So it's very
You're not
entertaining.
alone. Trust me, you're not alone. Raincoat is about that big.
Poor Franco. Oh dear, oh dear. And that's
Yeah,
his.
he never moans either. I'm so lucky. He
You
never
are
moans.
lucky. You are lucky. He's been told not to moan. He's been instructed do ever not to ever moan. Let's let's pull up another
In the
one.
vows.
Sorry,
It was in the vows.
it's in the vowels. That's it. So who's this? Because when I see you on the left, you look beautiful on there on the left, and there's a very nice lady, very famous lady on the right, isn't there? Can you see her there?
That's Sunita. Yes, that's Sunita. Yes, Sunita wore one of my beautiful. She wore the angel dress, actually. That's her and I leaving a hotel in London together. And yeah, we also met in Madrid, actually, Sunita and I. We went for dinner and with a group of friends at a very prestigious event as well. So yeah, so obviously,
Fantastic.
and it's weird now when you see them on the TV and then you forget. It's not till you look back, because I think it's important to keep really grounded, and I never really got starstruck like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I just, I think to be grounded, and we're all really lovely, so it just felt completely natural.
That's interesting when you talk about people like this, because when you say people are very grounded, and when we think about famous people, we often think that there must be somewhere way up there in their heads and their minds. And I've met quite a few famous people, and as you probably work with a lot more than me, but as I've worked with them, I just think that they're so natural, so normal. A lot of people there,
Exactly.
they just believe. Well, what is it they do? So you work with these people. What is the thread with them? Do you think that has helped them to get to the level in life where they are?
Um, do you know, that's a really difficult one, because it's only things like, like the media and publicity that creates that profile for that person. That's all it is, because they go home, they sit with their families. Every one of those who I was with has got a husband or wife or kids, and they're a mum. They're a wife, as well as, that's their job, and that's what they see it as. If they're a presenter, that's their job. And then they
Okay.
go home, and they, like Ruth and Eamon. I was with Ruth and Eamon. She does the same. We were talking about her walking the dog and how many steps she does a day, because that's what I do. And they're normal people. Completely normal people.
Well, it's the perception what the media puts across that makes it look so different, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So I've known you, I think, here for about just almost coming on 2.5 years. 2.5 years, I think it is. I think it goes far back as that. In fact, I'm trying to think where it was. But
I
it was.
think it's longer than that, actually, Phil.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And she just says, Jan Mullock says, Oba's a talented, down-to-earth lady with an exceptionally good heart. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much, Jan, for that. Yeah.
Hello, Jan. I love Jan. I made Jan's wedding dress, didn't I, Jan? Designed and made her dress for her.
But very nice too. And I was actually, I felt very honoured and privileged to be at your reception for your wedding the other day. So a couple of weeks ago. So it was fabulous. So brilliant. Okay. It was absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Okay. Right. We've known each other about maybe 2.5, 3 years. And in that time there, we've often talked a lot about spiritual beliefs, where we're going, where we're at, and what our belief system is in life. And I know that sometimes here we all go through times in our lives where we need that little bit of an extra help or a guidance of some kind. And is there something that you believe in yourself spiritually that helps you to get through, whether it's just life situations or things like this? Is there something that you turn to or look for?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've always been spiritual, always. But it wasn't until, I don't know, when I actually started to have some struggles in my life and some really difficult times that, I looked for answers. I looked for guidance. And I don't just mean, so everybody turns to different things during their struggles in life. And sadly, some people turn to alcohol or drugs and I looked to the spiritual world, and I always sort of had that connection anyway. And I started to have readings, and I started to, look into crystals and things that would make me feel calm. I didn't like the way that it was actually other people that were making me feel the way I was. And I was trying to find a way to find a new direction, a new path, and listen to the guides around me to help me find that way. And it was, and also getting into meditation as well, which I really found so difficult at first. But yeah, I mean, I've just believed that I'm just guided all the time and protected by guides and angels, and that's helped me immensely during the struggles in my life.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we all need something, isn't it? And Cheryl Portatuki says, totally understand what you're saying, Jody. Totally understand. And I think that's a lovely thing, because quite a lot of us here been through crazy. And Cheryl's gone through a little bit of a difficult patch, and she says she enjoys the show and enjoys watching it each week. And a lot of people find it uplifting, which for me is fabulous news. I enjoy talking spiritual matters, and doing all readings and everything, and helping you guys through. So when we talk about spirit, because it's interesting though, I know an astrologer, and her sister is a medical doctor who has no interest in astrology whatsoever. But her sister is an astrologer, and she said here before, and I actually remember this, she says here, coming up in 1 week's time, your surgery is going to be flooded by people with a non-specific illnesses. They'll be totally confused. She said, absolute rubbish. I don't believe in any of this. And a week later, she's flooded by people with non-specific illnesses, completely confused, didn't know where they were going or what was going on. At the end of the week, her sister says, yeah, what is all this? And she said it was Neptune. It was Neptune coming into an influence and just confusing people completely. And I think that's a big thing. Sometimes that happens where you challenge like the medical profession, not in their sort of evidence what they get medically, but just saying here, just passing by. Look, for instance, you could have a busy week next week, and lo and behold, it happens. And she said all these people turned up with like these curious or weird illnesses, and a week later they're all gone. She said, yes, there was the passing of Neptune going off a particular point in the chart, she's saying here, and that's why it was all going like that. So she just thought it was bonkers.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yes, tis. It
was funny because I had a reading and they said to me, that Franco was going to get just get Franco to watch his knees, and I'm like, no, in my head, I'm like, he's never complained about his knees ever, ever, ever. And I always tell him bits and bobs because he's a little bit skeptical, you know, when I have a reading or anything like that. He's very skeptical. So I just said, babe, you know, you need to watch your knees because, you know, they might start hurting. Well, about 3 months later, he just literally could not. He couldn't move. His knees were absolutely killing him. And you know, it was just another sign really of, and he was like, I've never had bad knees. I said, I told you were going to get bad knees.
I bet you think living with you is an experience. Every now and then you keep telling me things thinking, oh God, what's going to happen now?
He couldn't move. He was like, they're really killing me, Jode. I swear my knees are absolutely killing me.
Are they better now?
They're better now, but I said to him, it's because you're not connecting the emotions from your heart with your brain. You're not your equilibrium is completely out. You're not balanced.
Yeah.
You know, you've got different emotions going on, and you know, it all came out in the knees, and then we kind of, you know, I did a bit of my own healing on him, and he's fine now.
But there he goes. There he goes.
I'm crazy, you know.
The other thing to go and do with Franco, if he gets a symptom like that again, is dress him up in black, put little wings on him, and hang him upside down, like a little bat,
Okay.
and that actually helps your knees. Yeah. Especially coming up to Halloween. So coming to Halloween, if he does that, his knees will be fine all around Halloween. He'll love it. He may want to keep little wings on. You never know.
Oh, don't imagine it.
Well, there we go. There we go. It's funny, isn't it? It's a scream. It's a scream. And I think yeah. But knees are connected to emotions. You're right. Connected to emotions where we're shouldering things and we're not talking about it. Especially if we go down with throat problems. That's something out there as well. His chakras were out of line, says Jenny. Yes, I think you're quite right.
Yes, Jenny, they were out of line, but he was like, this is your fault because you mentioned it and now they're hurting. I said, no, babe.
Don't fall for that old flannel. No, it's your. You're going to sort this out. So it's amazing, isn't it? It is mind talking to the body and the body responding back. And
it's incredible.
Oh, it is. Okay, so now charities. So we have a little chat about charities. We'll come back to spirituality in a minute. Was charities, because I know that through what you've done in your life here, you've given loads out to people to help people in unfortunate situations. And when I was back in the UK, I was working for a company called, actually not a company, it was a enterprise called Noah Enterprise. And they were there to help people in very marginalised situations in life. But what you're doing out here, I think, is absolutely fabulous. With your charity there, I think the producer there has just put it up, Grant-A-Wish. Could you tell us a little bit about Grant-A-Wish?
So I decided to set up the charity nearly 10 years ago called Grant-A-Wish. Now, the reason behind that was mainly because I've always loved the word gratitude, grateful. And I've always felt very grateful for everything that I've had in my life and the opportunities and, you know, the small things in life, really, even if it's health, you know, which is a huge thing that we take for granted on a daily basis. Food, electricity. And I've got two amazing boys that I sort of decided that I wanted to show them a bit of the world, and that's what I did. But whenever we travelled, I made sure that we went to visit and found, you know, orphanages, children's homes, and I made sure that they stayed grounded, even though we stayed somewhere very nice and we did all the lovely things and had lovely food. It was very important for me to show them that not everybody lives as fortunate and as lucky as we do. And so we would take food, we went to orphanages, we took iPads, we took clothes. We didn't always give them money because it's not always the right thing to do.
No.
And when I came back to Spain, I realised that actually there was people on my doorstep where I live, children's homes, homeless men's shelters, and it was quite upsetting, really. but it's not that easy to just walk into these places. And thankfully to me, and I'll always be thankful to Tony, because he just trusted me instantly, and he took me into one of the orphanages, which they don't really let anybody in. And still to this day, it's even more difficult. And from that day on, I just literally started taking, basically, he ended up giving me one of the homes that was near to where I lived. And I went there every single Tuesday for 5 years, delivering food, organising the birthday parties, and just paying their electricity, everything. The system changed, which enabled, we weren't actually allowed to do that. We had to sort of do it a different way. But, since then, I still do it to this day. In fact, Thursday, I'm going to visit a lady who's a victim of domestic violence. Very, very, very severe. Her husband, just broke her limbs. And after, suffering in certain circumstances like that myself in the past, I realised how important it is to reach out to people, in times of need. So we are a unique charity. We don't just help one cause. We don't just help the orphanages or the homeless men's shelter. We literally reach out to anybody who needs help. And it's very close to my heart, really, all of it, because I just think giving back is good. It's good for your soul. It's good for my soul. And I do believe in karma, and I believe that we're not on this earth just to take, and I'd much rather give to people than take. I'm not really good at receiving presents and gifts and things like that. I just feel that I'm here to give back, and I don't know, it's just how I feel inside, and it's how I felt for a long time.
That's beautiful. I must admit, I really enjoy that. When I was in the prison service and talking to prisoners, we always think that they're bad people. But okay, they may. For some of them, they may have had to, which they did. They had a mad 5 minutes, and they ended up in jail. But some of their situations, their stories were quite interesting. But but getting them, once they've been to jail, getting them outside of jail and actually getting back into being conditioned to get back into a normal way of life. Sometimes that's a big struggle for people. And I really enjoyed working with their minds to try and rehabilitate them into normal society. But the big problem is that I found working with these guys is that they would come out of a prison or a jail, they'd be rehabilitated. Think, Gov, guess what? I'm going to sort my life out. I'm going to go and get a job. I'm going to go and straighten it out. I'm going to sort it out with the wife. I'm going to sort it out with the kids. And they think, oh, this is fantastic news. They go out, but the problem is they go back into the same society that got them into the problem in the first place. So it's almost like they need to move somewhere else. And you have to have a very strong mindset to do that. But even so, I think that when I was actually working inside a jail, that was interesting. Working outside of jail, I think one of the biggest things here is, and you're right, it's not money that helps them. It's not money. I really believe you're right there. It's the fact that they are able to take a step upwards in life somehow. I've got
a great story about that, actually. I went to New York. And I was doing the fashion show there, and obviously I always carry the charity work in my heart wherever I go, whatever I'm doing. And I sort of met a homeless guy on the street, and I spent a good hour sitting on the floor talking to him, and all the team there, and I was just like, no, I need to talk to this guy. I need to just connect with him. I don't know why I was drawn to him. I have no idea to this day. And he was a very successful businessman. He had 3 companies, he had a big house, he had a lovely wife, his kids. Anyway, he ended up making a couple of bad decisions in business. He ended up losing everything. He was so embarrassed to tell his family. He felt so ashamed. He just felt useless. He literally had the bag that he had, and he'd been on that street in New York for 6 months. And he couldn't move back to his previous state, because he didn't have the money to renew his card. They have those cards.
Yes.
And I basically said, if I give you the money now, which really goes against what I do. He was so genuine. Most of them sat on the street, bless them. They're drunk, they're on drugs. he was such a genuine, honest person, and we kept in touch. And I actually helped him get his card, get back to where his daughter, his kids were. He literally just didn't have any contact with anybody. And he went back and he sorted his life out. And just that one meeting on the street just sort of helped him. And it's just wonderful to be able to do that to people.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think that, yes, it's amazing. I remember lovely stories like that. I mean, we used to walk around most of the towns here in the UK, especially. The amount of homeless people has has gone up. But when I speak to them, especially in London or especially in some areas of Bedfordshire, and I was speaking to them, some of the interesting things here is I said, look, well, why don't you come to our enterprise and we'll try and sort you out, try and help you out there, and see if get you on a straight road, and even get you into a house. And they went,
Yeah.
don't want a house. I do not want a house. And I said, why don't you want a house? He said, I've had responsibility in the past. I don't want it again. Didn't work for me. And they're quite happy, and they live in a community. I'm not saying it's all the same for everybody, but it's amazing some of the famous people who've actually been on the streets. They had actually lived on the streets for a while. It was Sylvester Stallone.
The more you've got to lose. So, if you take yourself to the top, and you only got to make a wrong sort of business decision, and you can lose it all overnight. And you're right, you're absolutely right. Most of the people on the street are they weren't just sort of in low income jobs. They were very, very, very successful people.
Should you be amazed out there, guys, that Daniel Craig, the former James Bond, or still is James Bond, he was on the streets for a while. Sylvester Stallone, Rihanna. Yeah. Rihanna was for a while, and quite a few other people there. To name just a few. The other one, which I thought was, when a friend of mine had the opportunity to interview, was Shirley Bassey's pianist. He ended up on the streets, and it's basically because, well, all came to an end, and that it was it didn't really know what else to go and do. So unfortunately, he lost out on that part of life. But it's interesting when you look at life, and for you that must be an extreme to mix with people who are in very fortunate places, and to other people who are okay. For some of them, would still say they're fortunate even though they're on the streets. But to have that extreme of life and to experience that must be extraordinary.
Yeah, I think like I said, I've never took anything for granted in life, and my journey's been very, very interesting. There's been lots of ups and lots of downs as well, like everybody really.
Yes.
And even in my darkest moments, I still carried on doing what I did. I still went to the homeless men's shelter, and it was still my duty to help these people, even though that I was desperately searching for the light myself, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to not be selfish, and to think of others, and that's so important in life. You never know when you might need somebody yourself. Lots of people, and that's what we just said, people we've met. And I think people that look down on people, I think that's a very, very, very sad trait to have, is when you think you're above somebody, and that you're more special, or we're all equal at the end of the day. And you never know what life's going to throw at you.
I think people, when they think like that, when they have a fall in their life, it hits them worse than the people who are prepared to talk to everybody. And my dad, he's still around, but his mind's not so strong now. But he always says when you're on your way up, never burn your bridges, because when you come back down again, you never know what you need. I said that was so interesting.
No, it's so true. It's so true. Money is, money, it just flows. Sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less. Sometimes, I think in life we're all born to want more. I've always had, dreams and aspirations, and that's not a greedy side of things. That's just, because I want to be successful, and part of that dream and aspiration is so that I can actually help other people. Yeah. And that is really, you know, a huge part of why I like to be able to do well, and that's because I love to give back and share, you know, with even friends, family, and people that genuinely need it, you know.
Okay. Okay, brilliant. Right, we're going to take a very short break. We're back in just a second. After the break, what we're going to do is, guys, if you've got any questions, if you need a bit of guidance of any kind, you want to share some of your experiences, maybe you've got questions for myself or Jody, quite happy to do a bit of a combo thing, really, guys. If you would like a little mini reading, happy to do a reading. And then, Jody, if you'd like to put in your life experience or advice from your part there, being the extraordinary soul that you are. And there's some people here saying that, well done, Jody, a genuine soul. I think that's lovely. And Jenny says you was his guardian angel that night, and I think this is lovely. So yeah, people are absolutely commenting on your wonderfulness, and yes, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Okay, right, okie dokie. People coming through going, yes please, yes please. What are the readings? Okay, so we'll take a little break. We're back in just a moment. Okay, right, we're back. So, guys, if you'd like a little chat, even if you'd like to say, hey, I'm in an industry, it doesn't have to be the fashion industry, but maybe you want a bit of guidance there, something there to push you a little bit further forward. Maybe you just need a bit of support there. Maybe you just want an answer to something, or maybe just a bit of like there. Okay, so Cheryl says, yes, please. Sarah says, yes, please. And Angela says, buenas noches. Yes, good evening to you. And so it's great. Yes, to mean a reading. What we just need is a little question. Just a little question there. Just help us along our way. And let's do some work here. So what we're going to do, yes, there's Sandra. Just need a little question there. Favorite color. And we go there. And okay, so let's have a little look here. So when you think of clothes and colours yourself here, is there a favourite colour that you have yourself that you love to wear?
Well, most people would say, oh, she's a pink girl. She's definitely a pink girl, because I'm quite a girly girl. But no, do you know what? There isn't really a favourite colour, but I'm definitely not a black girl. So as in the colour, I never really wear. And if I wear black, people say, are you all right? Are you going to a funeral? Because I love colour. Today I've got grey on, but I do love grey. I think it's a nice calming colour, and I feel quite classy in grey. But I do love colour. I love colour.
You had white and pink on last week. And we're at the Oceana Club, which is near Benissa and Calpe, in between Benissa and Calpe. And we're hosting there. Part of the Cafe Clairvoyance has a cafe networking side to it, where we integrate with people and businesses. And whilst we were there, had a fantastic time. And we had this little thing going where we're finding like our favourite words here, which is what helps us to get where we're going to. And I was reading I saw a friend of mine, a coach actually wrote down there. She said here that the Nike, the director of Nike, he said that sometimes what you've got to be is irresistible. And then on another path, and partly end of the room, you've got to have consistency to be consistent.
And then we made a big joke of it, didn't we?
We did, because then
that was the word of the day.
That was the word.
Consistently irresistible.
Consistently irresistible, and everybody, I think it'll be our eyebrows raised, and maybe people thought that's what they're going to go and be. So fantastic, consistently irresistible. And it's funny, isn't it? Because in your life, there, if you think about yourself, where you want to go to in life, do you think consistency is one of the big things we need?
Yeah, massively. I mean, you know, I touched on this in our meeting. I mean, I grew, you know, social media accounts from 0 to, you know, not millions, but to 10,000 followers, you know, very, very quickly. And I think, you know, the key to anything in life, and even now, even with my fitness and my health and, you know, everything, is to do it consistently.
Okay.
Do it daily, keep a routine, and don't give up when you don't see the results you want to see, within the first day or the first week, because things take time. Nothing happens overnight. You plant that seed, you keep watering it, and very soon you'll start to see results. And I think that is the biggest advice I could give to anybody, and that's what I always remind myself.
Guys, you hear that? Consistency. Keep going no matter what. And I know a lot of you guys out there, I think, would actually agree that by keeping going, you've actually seen results already, even though sometimes they're pretty hard going. And this year's extraordinary anyway. Okay, so, right. Okay, Sandra, she's gone for a colour purple. And she says, general guidance on my spiritual pathway, please. Okay, so I'll just start this off here. And if I look for spiritual pathway, when you actually think about spiritual pathways yourself here, is there something that you just be in? Is there a path you want to follow? What's your ideal there, your process of thinking or feeling?
Well, I don't know. It's a really difficult question because it just feels really natural. I will be talking to my granddad. I might be meditating and focusing on something that, I really want to manifest. I might go for my early morning walk and, do my gratitude bit while I'm, being grateful for being in the fresh air and without my mask on.
Okay.
And, just having my legs that enable me to do my 10,000 steps a day. I don't know. I just find that there's a whole lot more to it than just, looking up and believing there's people out there. In my opinion, anyway, that's how I see it. It's a whole lifestyle.
I think it is. Yeah. And I think here, if we're just looking there, let's have a quick look here. She was just going to get her details there. There you are, Sandra. You're up there. Yes, and I think it's that way. If you're on the right path, you're feeling pretty good. In fact, you already are on your right path. But you're definitely on your right path with the Knight of Cups. So it's a feeling thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the things you have not got control of. Maybe you're not supposed to. Don't worry about the things here. But the things that are naturally going on in your life, I'd say here, as we're sort of discussing here, I think it's a lovely way to put it. It's just being in that self where you find your own peace. And
yeah.
Yes, I think it's a big thing, big thing. Okay, okay, let's have a look at Christine White here. She says here, shall we move sooner rather than later? She's gone for colour purple. When you wear purple, is this a colour you would normally wear? Is this a colour that you like wearing sometimes?
Do you know what? Actually, no. I've got one lilac-y pair of trousers and I've got a purple dress, and I have to say I do feel quite amazing when I wear it, but it's not a colour that my wardrobe is full of, if I'm really honest. No, okay. It's not. Yeah, I've got blues and yellows, and I don't really wear red either. If I wear red, it's because I'm in business.
You're in business. Power. That's an Aries colour. That's a real Aries. That's a Mars thing. I'm going in to win.
Yeah, I don't really wear red a lot, or black, to be honest. But no, or purple. I've got a couple of purple bits, but not lots.
Okay. There's a question I've got to ask in a minute. I'm finding this quite amusing to ask it, but I'll have to ask in just a minute. But okay, show me sooner or later. That's right. Okay, so purple's quite when you wear it, you feel quite amazing. And I must admit, my favourite colour is purple. I don't always wear purple. Every time I wear purple, Deborah looks at me and says, "What's that?" I've got a few purple shirts.
You've got purple pajamas or something like that, haven't you?
Hush now. With glitzy bits on. Right, okay, show me sooner rather than later. I would say here, be it yourself with time here. And would you understand, would you sometimes hear, when you're saying about consistency and sometimes you've got to keep plodding on at things here, that's your way through towards your end goal. is what you want, what you desire in your life here when you think about consistency. Because in this reading here, I get the sneaky feeling by this reading here that the way to keep going here is to just be consistent in what you want, but it may not be just yet. Yes, and I think here,
Yeah.
and I think here too, when we think about the colour purple, what sort of events would you wear that? Although you've hardly got a garment there in purple, what sort of events would you wear that to?
Well, do you know, any event really, to be honest. I don't think there's a certain colour that you say, well, you could only really wear that to, you know, a summer garden party or a glamorous red carpet event. No, I think nowadays, you know, anything's acceptable. It's actually more about the style and the cut of the piece rather than the colour, to be honest, because you see on the red carpet, you know, you see this amazing sort of, you know, yellow sort of glamorous couture piece where, you know, you wouldn't have really seen that, you know, years ago. So now it's more about the style and the cut than the colour, really.
Okay. So when Franco goes out and you two are going out somewhere, perhaps somewhere nice, who gets the choice of clothes he's going to wear?
Oh, is this silly question time? No, basically, he just sort of says, right, what am I wearing then, babe? And I'm like, it's on the bed, darling. It's all laid out for you.
Brilliant.
In fact, he would tell you this story himself. When we met, I literally chucked his whole wardrobe away. So that was quite interesting. And he tells everyone that story.
I had, yes.
Chucked it all away.
Yes, I had that when I met Deborah. She did the same thing to my wardrobe. She said, you're not wearing that, and that. I had a purple velvet jacket, and I loved it. She said, that is going.
That is out.
That is out. But I said, I love it. I've only worn it a few times. She said, no, that's. And then a dolphin shirt or something like that I was wearing with it. And she said, no, that's... that is out. But since then, no, I think taste has come back in a little bit. But she often looks at me to say that, okay, all right, especially going around the shops. What do you think of this shirt? No. It's the there's no conversation. It's the N or the O. I've got to try and work out. That's just it. That's just it. Yeah. So that's about as engaging as it gets.
You're not alone.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now Sarah says here, this is interesting. She said, I used to wear black all the time. Now I wear a lot of pastel, green, and floral. Oh, they're nice.
Lovely. Yeah, floral's lovely.
It is a nice colour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very on trend for floral. It's very feminine, and yeah, but I think florals. In fact, a floral print is not really something you would make a couture real evening piece out of, to be honest.
Okay.
It's very daytime. Can be smart or cash, but I don't mean not really sort of. It's not red carpet event style. But I do love floral.
Okay.
And pastel too, depending on your skin tone as well and your hair colour.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I'm and your eye colour, I think, as well.
Yeah, no, it does. It does depend on, you know, a lot of things.
Is there an in colour this year?
Is there an in colour? Floral was really in this year, to be honest.
Okay.
Floral print was really in this year.
Okay.
So there was tons of floral in the shops, and yeah, actually I didn't really go shopping that much because of blinking COVID. So it was just, I mean, I follow everyone online, and you know, floral was a big hit, definitely.
Okay. Okay, floral's a big hit. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because even I look out there thinking, okay, what colours are in this year? What colours are showing? And some of them, I've got to say, some big stores I obviously can't name them. But I think the colours that they chose for this year, thinking, my God, what are they doing? What they're doing is going to go wrong. And some of those shops haven't done so well because I think they've chosen crazy colours, which I just think just don't work. But never mind. No, I love colour. I love matching colours to things. And I know Deborah would say here, she actually says here, up here, she just said it. Yes, that's it. That's it. And a dolphin tie, velvet jacket and cowboy boots. That's it.
You want to see the photo, please?
No, I was banned.
silver. I love silver too, Maria. Yeah, I
Ah,
love
oh,
silver.
yeah, yeah,
Silver
yeah.
and
Silver's a
gold.
lovely colour. Silver's a lovely colour. I think it's a fantastic colour.
Yeah, very,
Yes.
very black,
Right. Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Anthony says here, should we move sooner rather than later? Okay. That was one we did a little bit earlier on there. So we're just going to have a look here. Right. Okay. Which now Cheryl says here. Now this is interesting. Orange. Which path to take first? Okay. So when you think about the color orange, that's quite a in aura energy. It's a very lively color. Is that a color that you like to see on people?
Sorry, I was just reading out of the comment there.
I'm sorry.
Orange. I feel orange is it's quite a powerful colour, and I feel not everyone can wear orange. If you've got a bit of a reddy skin tone to you, it can clash a little bit. So orange is good for, you know, really dark hair if you're really blonde, but if your skin tone tends to be a little bit reddy, then it cannot look very good. But I think orange is quite a powerful colour. I think it's a difficult colour to wear, to be honest. I don't have a lot of orange, actually, thinking about it. I
Okay.
really don't have it doesn't remind me of a soulful colour, orange.
Okay.
It doesn't remind me of a calming, you know, sort of soulful colour.
Okay.
But interesting, actually, yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. So when we look match orange regarding your reader there about which path to take first. So you just said it's a very powerful colour. May not be a soulful colour, but if I look at your cards here and just saying, well, what's coming up for you there? My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. This is the most powerful card. It's about. Now, would you understand here? It's a justice card. There you go. Justice. Justice is a tarot deck. And interesting cards here because your way forwards in front of you, which is your path to take first, it's yours. Whichever one you choose. Because your justice here is telling you which way to go, the one that feels right. And sometimes here, orange is a very out there colour, but sometimes we just got to focus a bit. Focus a bit when we go for orange.
You know what I think a lot of us don't do, and this is where I've learned on my, you know, in my struggles and my journey, is that we don't listen to our gut instinct enough. And I think we've all got that very strong message inside. And, you know, I think if we really tuned ourselves to listen to that, you know, famous word that we've heard for forever since we were born. Oh, you know, what's your gut instinct on that? You know, but actually really think about that, because, you know, when you think about your gut instinct, it's normally always right. And I don't think we tune into that enough, because we might really want something, but, you know, is it really right?
Okay. It's interesting here, and I'm just going to come back to another meeting in a minute. Now, that's interesting here because sometimes your head is telling you, but you want something else.
Yeah.
And yet around the other way, you've got this gut instinct telling you, don't go down that road.
Yeah.
Don't go down that road. That's a hard one, isn't it? Because you could almost see this, but I wanted that pathway down there and it's slipping away from you because your gut instinct is telling you don't do that.
Yeah. I've been down that road many a times and wish I'd have actually listened to my gut instinct rather than say, no, I can do this, you know, rather than that little tiny bit. Sometimes we call it the little man on the shoulder or the little voice in the head or something, but it's that gut instinct that's telling you.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think the more we in tune spiritually and looking around our hearts and feeling within ourselves, the moment we start tuning into this gut instinct, understanding more and more. And it's a funny one. How many times out there, guys, have you known something's going to happen or felt it? Some people say you feel it in our waters. Some people say we got that gut instinct that something is right or not quite right. And actually it turns out to be just where it is. Okay, Joe Gardner says, red, and just to guide us, please, is a bit confused at the moment. So you like the colour red from sometimes, don't you?
Yes, sorry, I'm just reading that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, no, I think I've worn the colour red. I've got a red blazer, which I love to wear with just a pair of jeans and maybe a white shirt. It's quite powerful if I'm having like a bit of a business meeting or something like that. It's a nice, strong colour. It is feminine, but I know Jan put an earlier comment up on there. She loves to wear red,
I'll
and
go
it
and find that comment
really
in a minute.
suits
Yeah.
her. It really
Okay.
suits her.
Okay.
I think it's because it doesn't really suit me, red, to be honest. But I only wear it if I mean business.
Now,
So
Joe,
if I wear red,
okay, Joe, would you understand this? Sometimes it's good to wear red. It's good to think red because it's a powerful one. Now, you say you're a bit confused at the moment. Just having a little look at the tarot cards here and see what they're saying around you. So let's have a little look. And Jan, we'll come back to you in just a second. Let's go for your left pile and have a little look. Now, what your cards are saying here, it's saying is that you're walking away from the past, letting things go. And sometimes we like to think we move out of life. If we're moving out of a home, we like to think we're moving out the front door. Sometimes it doesn't always work like that. We come out feeling like we come out the back door. But your cards here just saying here, just gently work on you. No rush. But if you're thinking red, then you're in control. Maybe you're in control. Maybe that's a pretty good thing there. Okay, right. So let's have a look. Let's go and have. Jan says that she's an Aries. I'm just looking. Yes, let's look at Jan. Interesting. I love red, and I am Aries. Oh, yes, there are powerful colours. Powerful colours. Aries is a favourite colour.
I've just seen Cheryl there. She's put which shades of red suit blondes best. I think more of a kind of fiery red for a blonde as opposed to a blood sort of darker red. Definitely more of a fiery blonde, something that's a bit brighter rather than something, more of the duller sort of blood red. So definitely Cheryl, more sort of fiery colour.
There we go. How about that? A fiery red. Ooh, love those colours. I like I like my blues, my purples, greys, definitely. And but no, I'm just slowly starting getting into greens. Yeah. Joe Gardner says thank you to me. Now, we've talked loads about fashion. Should we talk about food for a couple of minutes?
Yes, I'm lucky enough to be married to a chef.
Oh, yeah. Let's give a little hoot to Franco. There you go, just for Franco. Yes, he'll love that.
Yeah, he's amazing. Literally, it's a good job I'm into fitness as well, because I think I'd be the size of a house if I didn't exercise like I do. Having to try all these amazing, incredible recipes that he just creates. And all this lovely homemade bread, and oh my goodness!
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic! That sounds fabulous. There. So, you've got a restaurant. You've got a restaurant there, and it's called the Oceana.
Yes.
And what sort of things do you like hosting there?
Well, we've done everything really. We do a lot of musical tribute nights, which are really popular. We are, located right on the Mediterranean Sea. We've got panoramic sea views, and we also host about 40 weddings a year. So I do all the planning, and obviously Franco creates all the menus, and we are extremely busy, as you can probably gather.
Fantastic. Now, it was interesting actually, guys, because the place, I've actually went to the venue last week, first time I've been there. And it'd been renovated from what it was before because of a little bit of a storm. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, it's absolutely fantastic inside. The pictures there are incredible. I must admit, I'll put them up there at a later time. But if you remember, guys, when there was the storms that hit the coast of Spain, there was the Oceana being bashed to bits by the sea, and everybody could see it in England because it was on English TV. So even though you're up there, yes, it was amazing. It was sad. It was watching it there, what it was. But now it's absolutely fantastic and chuffed to bits. You've got all the weddings and different acts there. And it's fabulous to actually host the cafe networking there. And we're back there again on the 6th of November. Looking forward to that. And guys, Jody, is there anything else you would like to say? Anything you'd like to say to everybody out there?
No, I just think it's lovely to connect with you all. And thanks for popping in and saying hello and listening in. I think just believe in yourselves, and don't. There's a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot of negative people. There's a lot of jealousy, and I think, surround yourself with people that genuinely love you, genuinely want the best for you. And I think if you just keep, even if your circle's small, just surround yourself with the right people, and don't be frightened to sort of steer away from people or walk away from people if they're not bringing the right vibes into your life. And I think that's where I've learned a lot. I tried to be a bit of a people pleaser, and even if that meant these people were not good for me, not good energies for me, I still kept them in my life. And I'm much stronger now, and if I don't feel somebody's right for me in my life and my family, then I quickly in a nice way, but just distance myself.
I think that's lovely, and I'm glad that. No, I'm glad you could say that. I'm glad you could say that, actually, because I think it's a big thing that people would look into this and actually feel in their hearts that's what they need to do. Is that you can't let people continually or allow them to treat you badly, and to know at some point here they've got to respect you as a person, as an individual, and just how strong that would be. Yes. So
yeah, 100%.
And thank you very much, Jody. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show. An hour's gone by. It feels like 2 minutes. An hour's gone by. It's absolutely fantastic here, and everybody is really. I'm busted it. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating and being into the show there. Whether you're into fashion or not, whether you're into colours or not, fashion or not, colours are not here. I've got to say it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you because of all your spiritual beliefs, how to keep going, and that is that consistency, guys. So keep being consistent. That's the message that I think here that I would totally agree with. Keep being consistent what it is you want to go and do, where you're going. And sometimes when you don't know or you think you lost your way, keep being consistent.
Life is a roller coaster.
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it just?
And just brace yourself for the lows, because there will always be that. But if you're grounded, if you're focused, if you believe in yourself, you will always get through.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, what can I say, Jody? Thank you so much for having us on the show. I wish you every happiness and success in what you and Franco are building there, and everything else you two are up to. Absolutely magic. Well, I'm back tomorrow. With the astrology show at 11 o'clock with Guillemard. Looking forward to that. So if you'd like a reading tomorrow, guys, we need your date of birth. We need a favourite colour, and we need a question before the show starts, if that's possible. Okay, but in the meantime, though, we just want to say a big, warm-hearted applause to you, just to say thank you so much for being on the show. We have so much enjoyed it, and yes, and we perhaps it will be lovely to have you on the show again in not too distant future, and do something again. Oh, lovely. My guys, thank you, Jody. Thank you so much. Big heart, and one of Franco's burgers. Heart and a burger. All right, thank you very much, guys. Take care, Jody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Night.